We think it's time to get out?
They got a clock on us.
Where?
Just in this pretty little village. Vibe.
Oh.
Sorry about this, baby.
The film opens with a haunting narration by a blonde trophy girlfriend named O, who ominously cautions the audience that her storytelling does not guarantee her survival by the end. Set against the picturesque backdrop of Laguna Beach, California, we meet best friends Chon and Ben, both of whom are skilled marijuana cultivators. Chon, a former Navy SEAL who returned from service with considerable wealth but a hollow spirit, is depicted in an intimate moment with O as she unfolds the narrative of their lives. A chilling video from Miguel Lotto Arroyo, a ruthless enforcer for a Mexican drug cartel, reveals the gruesome fate of several cartel workers, their heads gruesomely severed by chainsaws. Arroyo demands a meeting with Chon and O. Meanwhile, Ben returns home from an expedition in Africa to find O waiting for him, only to soon receive a message from Arroyo detailing the meeting's location. O shares that Ben is a proud graduate of the University of California, Berkeley, holding degrees in both business and botany. The potent marijuana they cultivate originates from seeds smuggled out of Afghanistan by Chon, while Ben meticulously nurtures the plants, resulting in an exceptionally powerful strain that draws a steady stream of customers. Their enterprise brings them considerable wealth, however, their personalities diverge. Ben is an idealist committed to charitable endeavors in Africa and Asia, whereas Chon is more focused on the perilous aspects of their business. Their public relationship with Ophelia Sage is evident, particularly in scenes depicting the intimacy between Ben and O. In a tense conversation, Ben advises Chon to negotiate with the cartel, but Chon staunchly refuses. The narrative shifts to Lotto and his cartel members violently confronting El Azul's attorney. As the attorney attempts to contact El Azul, Lotto methodically shoots his legs before delivering a grim ultimatum about needing a better lawyer. He then callously executes both the attorney and his wife. Subsequently, Ben and Chon meet with Dennis Kane, a corrupt DEA agent who is on their payroll and encourages them to align themselves with the cartel. As they prepare for their impending meeting at a hotel, Lotto and Elena observe through hidden cameras set up in the room. During this tense encounter, the cartel proposes a partnership, seeking to leverage Chon and Ben's expertise while insisting on collaboration. Despite the friends' offer to sever ties and exit the drug trade entirely. They requested that the cartel grant them 48 hours to consider their proposal, but the cartel only allowed them 24 hours. Aware of Chon and Ben's intent to escape the cartel's grasp, Ophelia is told they plan to spend the next year in Indonesia, though the true reason for their departure remains undisclosed. Later that night, O confides in them her fears about what might happen if they were discovered in Indonesia. She expresses her deep love for them, revealing that they are the only family she has and that she cannot bear the thought of losing them. She insists she must make one last trip to the shopping center, prompting Chon to send Franklin with her to remind her about their flight and to retrieve her passport. She reassures them both of her unwavering love. Tragically, Franklin is shot by a police officer during a routine stop, and Ophelia is captured by Lotto's men. Chon and Ben learn of her kidnapping through a video call from cartel leader Elena Sanchez, who threatens harm to Ophelia unless they agree to collaborate with the cartel. She demands they deliver 300 pounds of their product within 5 hours or face dire consequences for O. They rush to the warehouse to prepare the shipment on time. Upon arriving at the trade location, the exchange begins, but they notice a car left behind. When Chon investigates the front seat, he discovers a briefcase filled with cash, evidence of Elena's full payment for their goods. As they head back, Elena calls to inform them that their deal is still on and that Ophelia will remain with them for an entire year. However, she warns that any breach of their agreement will result in Ophelia's brutal demise. Their path soon crosses with Dennis, a DEA agent. In a tense conversation, Dennis reveals that Elena is at risk of losing her political connections in Mexico, which could jeopardize her operations. They discuss strategies to thwart her plans to expand into the U.S. Dennis claims he has nothing on her that could help them since she has already lost most of her family. In a moment of desperation, Chon stabs Dennis in the hand, demanding information from the DEA to help them take down Elena. Reluctantly, Dennis agrees to assist them by providing intel on Elena from his agency. With the help of their IT team, they analyze the information and devise a plan to steal Elena's money in a Robin Hood-style heist. Meanwhile, Ben prepares to call Elena to negotiate Ophelia's release, knowing that their lives, and O's, depend on the outcome of this dangerous game. He presents Elena with an offer of $10 million, but she swiftly counters with a demand for $13 million, emphasizing that her offer is only valid for 2 weeks and is strictly time-limited. In response, Chon and Ben orchestrate an assault on a cartel money convoy, enlisting the help of Chon's Navy SEAL friends. Their operation proves successful as they eliminate 7 of Elena's men. Meanwhile, at home, Lotto finds himself embroiled in a heated argument with his wife, which escalates when he violently kicks her in the stomach. In the aftermath, she expresses her desire for a divorce, but Lotto refuses to comply, threatening to take their children away from her. Just as he prepares to commit a heinous act against his captive, he receives a phone call about the assault. Upon arriving at the scene, he is briefed on the situation. One of his associates questions how they will report back to Elena, to which Lotto coldly replies that he will handle it himself. Meanwhile, Ophelia, held in horrific conditions, requests to speak with whoever is in charge. Elena grants her request, and during their conversation, Ophelia reveals her struggle to focus and admits she was seeking something to alleviate her distress. Elena offers to arrange for something to help her. Ben and Chon receive a message indicating that the cartel only wants Ben to make an appearance. When they confront him, they demand to know where he was the previous night and inform him that several of their men were attacked and killed. Ben vehemently denies any involvement and insists on speaking to Ophelia to confirm her safety, but they tell him they will get back to him later. As they leave, Alex expresses his belief in Ben's innocence, suggesting that they lack the courage to rob them. However, Lotto strongly disagrees. Alex reminds Lotto that they must inform Elena about the incident. In a brutal act of vengeance against Ophelia for outsmarting him, Lotto drugs her and assaults her. Meanwhile, in the United States, Elena visits her daughter while grappling with escalating issues in her life. She has Ophelia brought before her and instructs her men to clean her up and provide her with anything she desires. When Elena asks Lotto if everything is all right and he affirms it, she smacks him and tells him she needs to go to America to sort things out herself. After apologizing and seeking Elena's permission to communicate with Chon and Ben, Lotto admits he was wrong to assume that the 2 young men cared about anything other than their connection with Elena. She warns all 3 of them that if they fail to identify the traitor who betrayed them and do not repay the $3 million owed, she will take ruthless action against their families. During their dinner together, Elena invited Ophelia to engage in a candid conversation about their lives. When Ophelia inquired about how Elena entered the business, Elena revealed the tragic circumstances that led her there. She inherited her position after the brutal murder of her husband, children, and twin sons. She shared the painful truth that her surviving son harbors resentment towards her for taking away his power, a decision she made solely to protect him, while her daughter feels deep shame for what she has become. Elena poignantly articulated a flaw in her love story, asserting that even if her family claims to love her, their self-love ultimately prevails. If they truly cared, they wouldn't be willing to share her with anyone else. Meanwhile, Elena's rival, El Azul, is seen conferring with Lotto. He chillingly informs Lotto that Elena's reign is over and suggests that Lotto should set his sights on the United States. Following this, he proposes a business alliance, which Lotto eagerly accepts. In a calculated move, Chon and Ben fabricate evidence implicating a high-ranking cartel member, Alex, as a collaborator with El Azul. With Dennis's assistance, they create this false proof and present it to Lotto. To extract a confession from Alex, Lotto resorts to torture. Once Alex breaks under pressure, Lotto cruelly drenches him in gasoline and orders Ben to ignite the fuel, forcing Ophelia to witness the horrific scene. In a moment of revelation, Ben informs Chon that Elena's daughter is still alive, a fact made possible by Alex's desperate attempt to save her before his demise. They then devise a plan to abduct her and use her as leverage to secure Ophelia's freedom. Offering Dennis $3 million for information regarding Elena's daughter, Magda, and the identity of his informant within Elena's cartel, they strike a deal. After capturing Magda, they initiate a video call with Elena to assert their control over the situation. They demand Ophelia's release in exchange for Magda's safety, warning Elena of dire consequences should she deviate from their terms. In a horrifying display of power, Lotto plays a tape of his assault on Ophelia. As she spits in his face in defiance, he grotesquely licks it off and wipes the remainder with her hair, chillingly assuring her that he will be in touch soon. They orchestrate a tense meeting in the vast desert to facilitate the exchange of Ophelia for Magda, strategically positioning shooters from both factions to ensure control over the event. As Chon demands the immediate release of Ophelia, both armies disembark from their vehicles simultaneously. In a moment of desperation, Elena frees Chon's captive, who then pursues her captors and successfully persuades them to relinquish Magda. When Elena confronts Chon about who revealed her daughter's location, he grimly informs her that it was Lotto. In a fit of rage, she attempts to take Lotto's life, but he shoots her first, igniting a chaotic gunfight in which Chon suffers multiple wounds. Ben retaliates, shooting Lotto in the back and then fatally wounding him in the neck, before Ophelia delivers the final blow. In a tragic act of solidarity, Chon injects himself, Ophelia, and Ben with a lethal overdose, choosing to depart this world together after Ben sustains a life-threatening injury. Ophelia awakens from this harrowing nightmare, disoriented but physically unscathed. During the fateful meeting, Ben had urged her to clear the area of any lurking snipers. In the aftermath, Lotto seizes Elena's vehicle and makes his escape. Meanwhile, Dennis leads DEA agents to the crime scene, resulting in the arrest of everyone present except for Lotto and Magda. Elena receives a 30-year prison sentence, while El Azul and Lotto seize the opportunity to form a new cartel known as the Azuledos. Because Ben possesses incriminating evidence against Dennis, he identifies both Ben and Chon as informants within the cartel, leading to their eventual release after a few weeks. Together, Ben, Chon, and Ophelia leave the United States behind and find refuge in a humble shack on a beach, likely in Indonesia. Ophelia reflects on their circumstances, remarking that their actions have become increasingly barbaric. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.